Hey folks, Gary here. Hey, how many of you want to get even with someone? I think we all do at some point in time. Sometimes it's just a rivalries where you have a friend and they will prank you and you want to prank them back and get even with them. And that's all in good fun, usually. Don't take it too far. But other times in life, things get actually pretty serious where someone does real harm to you. Man, you want to avenge yourself. You want to get even with that. You want them to suffer hard too. That's where we kind of get those things like instant karma's, that kind of stuff. Like we're hoping something's going to happen to them. By the way, karma's not good, but we want something bad to happen to that person. And that's not new, man. That's something that's inside of us. It's not always good, but it's something that's inside of us. And David talks about that in Psalm 63, verses 9 and 10. Let's see what David says. All who want to kill me will end up in the ground. That's pretty descriptive. You know what he's talking about, right? They're going to end up in the ground. Swords will run through them, and wild dogs will eat them. David's pretty descriptive about what he wants to see happen to the people that are trying to kill him. Saul and his army. He says, I want them dead. I want them deader than dead. Now, here's the thing about it. David doesn't make it happen, though. As much as he wants to see it happen, he's hiding in the desert. He's running for his life. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. Saul just wants to kill him because Saul is threatened by him. David doesn't take it into his own hands. He could have. He could have killed Saul so many times. David was a better warrior, a better fighter, a better strategist, all these kind of things. It wouldn't have been hard, but David doesn't do it. He lets God do it instead. If David would have done that, if David would have taken things into his own hands, then he would have been no different than Saul and would have suffered some of the same fates that Saul suffered. Instead, he allows God to deal out the justice. And God does. And Saul does die from a sword being run through him. It's actually his own sword. Saul commits suicide after he's fatally wounded by an arrow. He doesn't want to be actually captured alive, so he kills himself. So it does happen. Well, it's the same thing in our lives. People do things to us all the time, and it's okay. It's okay to want justice. There's nothing wrong with that. If someone's harmed you deeply, go to the authorities, go to the police, make all those guys for sure do that. Paul says the authorities have a sword for a reason. Well, they have a sword for a reason, to administer justice, right? God uses them for that for sure. It's okay to want that, but let God deal with it. You don't have to. Let it go. Let God deal with it, and God will deal with it. You use the authorities, all sorts of things, but allow God to administer that justice. Get yourself clean from it and let it go. And trust that God will take care of you because he will.